Hey, welcome back to my channel. I'm just going to go over the card pull that I did for Audrii Cunningham, who was found deceased today, February 20th, 2024, in Livingston, Texas. This is Audrii right here. You may hear a little bit of fussiness in the background. I do apologize. That's my granddaughter in there getting a little grumpy because it's almost bedtime. So we're going to get through this as quick as I can with giving as much respect as possible to this little girl that you see on the screen. This little girl was 11 years old, and this is the monster who allegedly took her life. And this is her father with this monster. The father is on the left, and the monster is on the right. You see his tattoo on his arm right there? Yeah. Okay, so let's get this monster off the screen. This is Audrii Cunningham, and this is another one. The sweet little innocent girl was hurt by a monster who was allowed to be around her by her family, her father and her grandmother. I don't get it. So this is the card pull that I did the other night. I actually did this card pull on February 18th, and I'm going to run through what each card means. So I'm still here. I'm behind the screen. I'm just popping this up here because I am reading my notes. You can see I have all of the cards here, which is what I'm showing in this picture here. And underneath where the cards are in the picture, I have written my review of the cards. And then there's also some on the back. So I'm going to go through and read this to you and let you know my psychic medium interpretation of what each card means. Now, I have had people ask about my card set when they saw this picture. They asked, what kind of card set is that? I've never seen that card set before. And I guarantee you have not, because I made this card set myself. I wanted a card set that was like a crime set, and I couldn't find one. I could not find one to purchase that was everything that I wanted. I wanted it to have an array of different things, locations, scenarios, feelings. If everything was okay and the person was just taking a break from life, they weren't really missing. They were just taking a break from life. I wanted a little bit of everything. And so I made them. I made my own set, and I love them. I actually showed how I did it on a live stream, and I showed every single one of my cards, which I have. I don't even remember how many cards I have now. I think that there's over 120 cards total. But I ran through each one of the cards. I designed the card. I drew on the card. I wrote on the back all the possible meanings of the cards, and then I cut them out and I laminated them. So it took me a couple weeks to make them, but I love them. I also made an angel card set, and those, if you would like to purchase an angel card set of your own, they're custom order, custom made. Let me know, because I have made one set and sold them. So if that's something that you're interested in, let me know. Now, I showed how to make this set so that you can make this set yourself if you would like. I've never made that for anybody else. So that's the story, the history on my card set, and let there be light. Okay, sorry, I'm doing this on StreamYard. I'm doing a pre-recording, and I'm kind of liking how this is working. I can pause it and start it and share everything that I would if I were live. So kind of liking it. I turned my ring light on over here to the side, so I'm sure the shadow is perfect to make my face look all funkified. But I went ahead and grabbed my cards. So these are my cards, okay? These are just a little bit of what they are. The sad was actually one of the cards that I pulled during this reading. But so on the back of each card, so this one is the fire card. And then on the back of each card, I started writing different things that each card could mean. So, when you see fire, there's lots of different things that could come to mind for a fire, right? So on the back of here, I have blaze, heat. It may not just be the fire, it may be, super hot, bonfire, scorching, searing, sparks, warm, smoke, campfire, inferno, combustion, flames, flare, glow, or just. So those are just some of the things that, I just kind of scribbled on the back there. And the majority of the cards have things written on the back of them. Some of them don't, but this one, okay, this is the runaway card, okay? On the back of it, it says escape, wanted person, fugitive, victim, running from abuse, abused. And then we have overlooked, my overlooked card. And on the back of it, feeling overlooked, feeling lonely because someone else was chosen, overlooked an item or a person during the search for that item or person. Um, so that's the idea. So each card has multiple meanings. So when I do a card pull, such as this one, there's 39 cards that I pulled during this pull. And I don't have a number that I set out to pull. I just start shuffling um and I pull the cards out and I pull until I feel compelled to stop. And then that's when I stop. So I'm gonna pause, put these away, and then we'll get into this reading. All right, we are back. Okay, so let me say too, if you're not subscribed yet to my channel, hit that subscribe button, please. Ring a ding the bell because I upload on a random basis. I do not have any type of set schedule whatsoever. I am going to do live streams soon. That's why I got this whole setup here. My live on air sign back there that you can only see when the light is on. If I turn the light off, it's just like a big blur back there. My camera's backwards. I feel confused. I don't know which way to lean, which side to go to. So discombobulated, but subscribe anyway, okay? And make sure that you hit the thumbs up, please. And thank you so much. And make sure you leave a comment and let me know what you think about this. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Do you feel something different? Have you done a reading? Have you done a spirit box session? Have you done anything else that you've gotten conflicting scenarios, whatever? Let me know. Leave me a comment. Let me know. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and pop my list back up here on the screen so that you can look at them as I'm reading through them. Now, let me explain. Okay, so I have my list, but what I did was I went through and wrote how each card is used. Okay, so like example, my first card was suspect. My second card was 9 to 12 months. So I'm looking through the list because they are in order. Okay, I believe that Spirit has me pull them in order to get their full meaning. Okay, so I pull suspect and then 9 to 12 months and then detour and then guilty. Okay, so I look at them and I start trying to ask Spirit, what do you mean? You know, what, explain this card to me, elaborate more. So the suspect is Steven McDougal, and I believe that he has been around in Audrii Cunningham's life for approximately 9 to 12 months. So those are my first two cards. On Audrii's last day of living, I believe that she was in the truck with Steven and they took a detour. Okay, so that's the third card. So I'm going to pop the list up here and I'm just going to run through it real quick with you. So there you can see suspect, 4 to 12 or 9 to 12 months and detour. Okay. So they took a detour and Audrii knew that Steven was lying, that he was guilty. Like he was showing this guilt as he was talking to her. She has that female intuition. She was intuitive. She was a very intuitive little girl. She was good at reading people and she knew that something was off about Steven. He was not acting his normal self. He was showing signs of some type of guilt, which is card number 4. Okay. Now Steven loved having all the power, no matter how he got it. If it was by putting fear into someone or if he's just bullshitting someone, he loves holding all of the power. Okay. Which is card number 5. Let's see. With Audrii, she knew that she was stolen. Okay. She knew that he was taking her someplace that he did not tell her that they were going. So she knew she was stolen. So that's another card right there, stolen. It has multiple meanings, and I'm trying to use it in the best possible way that I can use it to make it make sense. Right now, abducted is another word, but I also pulled that card later. So stolen, abducted, same idea. So she felt like she was being stolen. She knew that she was being abducted. She knew that he was acting different. She knew something bad was coming. And she knew that Steven had her power. Now, the next card is church. Now, when I got to church, I was like, okay, somebody's using God. Somebody's either praying or they're preaching, which is what I believe the church card means in the situation. So it was either Steven started saying that God wants it this way, or Audrii started praying to God for help. Well, then I saw the card number 8 was strength, and I knew immediately that it was Audrii praying for strength. I believe that she was praying to God for help and strength to survive the situation that she was in. So then we jump to number 9, which is private. Now, this is where we're going to get a little trigger warning. Okay, this is true crime. All of it is a trigger warning, but I do try to notify a little bit if I'm going to start discussing any type of essay. I believe that Steven started touching private spots, showing his true colors as they traveled or after they had traveled. Okay, so we just went through number 9, private, 10, true colors, 11, travel. So now they get to the edge of the river under the bridge. I believe it's a well-known location for Steven because he went fishing a lot. I believe this is the location where Steven suffocated Audrii while being violent. Okay, I don't believe that this was a simple, I don't think any type of suffocation would be simple. I think that it would be violent because I think that the victim would be fighting back. And I believe absolutely 1,000% that this tough little warrior was fighting him back with all of her power. So it was a violent situation. I believe that Steven had thoughts of dismembering and then using a wooded area to hide the parts after the dismemberment. And I believe that he had thought of and even tried to set up an abduction because after the struggle that he had with Audrii and how it ended, it was grotesque and revolting and it was very explicit. But he knew that he had to come up with a plan ASAP so that he could fake the dad, Josh, his buddy. He had to fake him out, right? So I believe he was trying to set Cassie up, Audrii's mom. We all saw the text where he was texting her. I do want to show one of those text message, or it was Facebook Messenger. I do want to show one of those, and I think that that goes right along with this. And we've made it over halfway through now. We're at card number 21, which was dad. So let me pause for a second and pull up that one message that Steven sent to Cassie, and that'll show you, I think, why I believe even more that he was trying to use her as a cover up. So I found this. And this is a picture of mom. And this is mom. And this is Cassie. And this is the person that Steven was messaging to, I believe, try to set her up. Now, I don't know if she would have met with him as he had asked her to, which I'll show you those messages here in just a second. I don't know if she would have also been hidden like Audrii was, because that would be a perfect setup. And I know a lot of people have already discussed that. He was trying to set her up and he was going to take both of them out because he had already hurt Audrii. So this way he could, hurt Cassie too and hide them both together. And then they would just be off in the sunset. Cassie abducted Audrii and who knows where they are when he would know exactly where they were. So I do believe that he did try to set her up. I absolutely believe that. Now, whether he tried to set her up to do what I just said, or maybe he tried to set her up to get her DNA of some type onto Audrii. So when they found Audrii, it would lead them back to mom. Okay, so this is where Steven McDougal started messaging Cassie, and Cassie shared these messages. It wasn't a very cordial conversation. And she says that she's super livid because honestly, she doesn't understand. He just messaged her out of the blue and was like, hey, you want to see your kid? And so he says, why? I never disrespected you. Your baby has been asking me about you. Okay, so that goes back to that power thing that we already talked about, right? Card number 5 was power. Remember? Card number 5 was power. So it goes back to the whole power thing, right? Asking me about you. So she says, this all just comes across weird and wrong, and Valentine's Day is not my favorite day. I lost my very first best friend on this day, and that just didn't sound right and look bad, and I don't know. And what do you mean asking you about me? What has she been asking? And so then he says, sweetie, I'm as straightforward as it comes. If I was just trying to talk to you to F, I would have done tried. She said, touche, I give you that. She asked me if I ever talked to you and if you were as bad as they say you are. She said, it just came off wrong, upset me. Wow, as bad as they say? What did you say? Oh yeah, they have made it look like you're just horrible. I told her that you're doing good and are fun to hang out with. When did she ask this? She asked me yesterday, going to school. So Cassie says, I'm surprised she thought about me. He said, she asked me yesterday going to school. So she said, I'm surprised she thought about me. She's scared to see me because of their reaction, huh? I mean, didn't you say they kept her inside for a month after I seen her that day at Justin's mom's? Now that is ridiculous. That right there is just ridiculous. I'm not going to get into all of that right now because I just want to get through this reading and I want you to hear what he says to Cassie. We will go back over this later, I'm sure. Okay, so he said, she does all the time. Yes, exactly. Yes, she is still not allowed outside by herself in the evening. They told her that you are in the woods. So they're treating Cassie like she's this boogeyman that hides in the woods around their house. How disgusting is that? She is confused about the situation, but I told her that you are not hiding in the woods, but we talk. So she said, what is wrong with him? Is he on drugs or that effing stressed that his mental has him thinking I'm going to steal her in the night or that I live in the effing woods behind his mom's house? That's some serious crazy ish. It's like they are. Okay, here we go. It's like they are scaring her and brainwashing her with literal insane thoughts only a child would believe. So she doesn't want to know me like they make it out to be. Makes me wonder if Lucky has the beginning stages of his mom's mental problems. So I think that Josh's nickname is Lucky. And no shit talking, just concern for him in general as a person. Or tell me, is it that whole effing family just all throwed off in general, acting like a effing cult or some shit? Might not want to drink the Kool-Aid, man, if you know what I mean. And he responds back with, not him. So then she says, not like I'm going to react upon this because I surely won't. I want what's best for my kid, and being everything they fuel her head with wouldn't be anything in my favor. He says, like I said, I told him I talked to you. She said, but it makes me sick to my stomach. They think that that's okay. She has a innocent, fragile child mind, and them warping it with chaos is not right, man. So he says, well, don't, but I might take you out to the dock to fish and accidentally pull up with her to fish. So he's trying to set it up like you go fishing and then we might accidentally pull up in the same place to fish. So she says the one by their house. He says really anywhere. So Cassie's being smart about this. She says that's asking for trouble and setting me up for failure. He says not at all. She said I do not in any way need to be set up to lose my child even more. Lucky would lose it if he knew. And is this what she asked you to do? And this message right here. I'm your daughter's favorite person, and she will not tell. And Cassie says, or what y'all maybe talked about for her to see me? He says, she wants to meet you. I told you I am on your team. I will do what I can. Now, I'm going to point one thing out here. And this just stood out to me. This jumped out. I don't know why, but you can see when he talks up here, he says, I am. He says, I'm instead of I am, right? Then he said, she will not tell. He didn't say she won't tell. She will not tell. She wants to meet you. I told you I am on your team. I will do what I can. Not one single contraction is used here. The last contraction is up here. I'm your daughter's favorite person. And all of these are not contractions. Now they say, I've been watching a lot of Deception Detective, and I've been trying to educate myself on things like that, body language and word deceptions and, all kinds of stuff like that for a while. And when people don't use contractions, it's usually because they're not telling the truth. So she wants to meet you. I told you I'm on your team. No, I told you I am on your team. I'll do what I can. No, I will do what I can. So I feel like this is all a setup right here. And she's saying no. She has this bad feeling about it. I want to meet her too. But if this comes back on me bad in any way, I can lose her forever. And I would kill you myself, or I would kill you then myself, man. Not a threat, but a promise. Now, these words right here have so much more meaning than she ever expected them to have, I think, when she typed them. And again, no contraction. It would not. Not it won't. It would not. Okay, so let's run through these last few cards here. All right. So Steven wanted to feed Josh a crock of shit, educate him, okay, with a fake story, narrative, script, plan, whatever, card 19. When the fact is, Steven, the male, the last male to be seen with Audrii, is an addict to multiple things, including drugs, in my opinion, sex, in my opinion, and alcohol, in my opinion, which led him to murmur his buddy's daughter. Now, the king card is Josh. Okay. So we have addiction, murmur, daughter, king. Okay. Then we have the next card, 28, is weasel or backstabber, rat, somebody you can't trust. Somebody that's just like, ugh, somebody that makes you do that, like just gives you the heebie-jeebies, right? Okay, that's Steven. But the king is Josh because he is the main male role model that is close to Audrii. Okay. So Steven took the king, Josh, took Josh's daughter by murmur due to his own addiction to sex, in my opinion, allegedly. Steven is a weasel. He's a backstabber. He is that person that makes you go, ooh, that gives you the heebie-jeebies. Okay. He is not a man. He is no man, period, in my opinion. Okay. So the truth, which is 29, the truth about how Steven is a weasel is, I believe, on Audrii's tech, like her phone, her tablet, her game system, something, some type of tech that she has. She has either told somebody about what Steven has been doing, because I believe this has been an ongoing thing. I believe on Valentine's Day, he took things just a little bit further than he ever has. And I believe that that's why it led to murmur, because Audrii was like, no, no, okay. And that pissed him off. He doesn't like to be told no, allegedly. So her tech, I think, holds a lot of answers. Maybe she had a digital diary. Maybe she has a written diary somewhere. Some way, somehow, she has documented what he has done to her. Maybe not this day. Maybe not on Valentine's Day. But leading up to, I do believe there is a history of documentation somewhere. So I believe a lot will come out in media, social media, about what a weasel this man has been and what he had been doing to and around Audrii. Women will be screaming about their past red flags with Steven that should have been seen and should be no mystery, okay, on how gross Steven truly is. Now we just covered a lot of cards there. So we got tech, media, the weasel again, screaming, past, red flags, and mystery. The Wheel of Fortune card, which is card 36. I'm sorry, it's like this big on my screen. And I have it written down back here. Okay, so card number 36 is Wheel of Fortune. Wheel of Fortune, in this sense, I believe it means like an abundance. A lot of. Sorry, I felt a sneeze coming on. I knew it was coming, and I paused just in time. Woo! Okay, so Wheel of Fortune, abundance. Okay, Steven has caused an abundance of sadness. Here it comes again. With his long history of abuse. Okay, Audrii is not the first person that he has done this to, by far. And I know this, which I already knew it when I made my first post about Audrii. I already knew it. But since that post, I have seen a couple people that have shared their stories, or just tiny morsels of their stories. One said when she was 10 years old, 10, that he tried to do things to her. Another one said she was on the bed and her cousin, I think, was pulled off the bed and clothes ripped off right beside her. He's a piece of shit. Okay. Just from his criminal record alone. I mean, look at this. These are his mugshots. Okay. Those are his mugshots. This one I found on Twitter says he was arrested Friday because he allegedly stabbed David Stanley with a knife on August 19th, 2023. He's been arrested for verbal harassment, reckless driving, theft, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, and enticing a child. This sick fuck. So he has caused an abundance of havoc and sadness and trauma with his long history of abuse. Now, the moon card is number 37. And the moon card, the moon itself symbolizes mystery, feminine energy, and it also symbolizes time. So all of those things go along with this, all of it. So I believe that's why the moon card was in there also. And that's all of the cards. That's every card that I pulled, all 39 cards that I've pulled. This is just awful. It's hard for me to even look at her face because I feel her. I feel her pain. I feel her fear. I feel fear. A lot of fear. Like the last moments, she felt shock and fear and betrayal, and somebody that she did look up to him when he said, when he told Cassie, I'm your daughter's favorite person. I believe that. I believe that. I believe it because I believe that he was around her a lot and Josh wasn't. And he was like a role model to her. And she enjoyed being around him. She had fun when she was with him. And he betrayed her. He betrayed her trust and scared her, and she didn't understand why. Whew, okay, sorry, I had to pause one more time to take a break here. I'm just gonna hide behind this beautiful girl's face. I'm gonna stay right back here. And I really like this picture also, and this one. I think this one's one of my more favorite ones. I think she looks just like her daddy in this picture. And I don't understand why her daddy would allow this monster anywhere near her. And I'm sure that he's kicking himself in the ass every second himself. Thank you so much for sticking through this video with me, suffering through my long pauses, my ums, my confusion, my pauses, and me trying to pull up the right pictures. And let me know what you think about this. Let me know, like I said at the beginning of this, if you agree, if you disagree, if you've had something similar, if you think that I'm wrong in some way, shape, or form, or if you think that I'm right in some way, shape, or form. Let me know in your comment below. Leave the hashtag SS Squad. Okay, 3 S's and then QUAD. And that's short for Spirit Seeker Squad. Okay, or you can just do hashtag S3. That works too. And then that way I know you watched all the way till the end of the video. I appreciate you being here so much. I'm going to go see if my grandbaby is ready to be tucked in. I'm going to hold her tight because it's moments like this where I don't want to let go of her. So, and I'm watching her right now and she's playing in her playpen and she's having fun running around, running laps in that big 50 by 50 playpen that takes up almost, half of our living room. She loves it and I love her. So I'm going to go spend some time with her. Thank you so much for watching. Justice for Audrii is coming. Okay. I have total faith in Texas law enforcement right now. Total faith. And they're going to get justice. Capital murder charges is what they're wanting to go for. Okay. Capital, which means that there was a plan. And I think that those messages from dumbass to Cassie shows the plan. And I think that those messages will help get the capital murder charges. I made a community post or a comment. I'm sorry. I was replying in a comment and I had said that I was seeing a center block with rope, which means that I was seeing her in water, but I was also seeing brush, like bushes and sticks and twigs and all of that stuff also. And so I was confused on why I was seeing both, because usually I see one or the other. And for me to see both, I didn't understand. And when they did the presser today and announced that they had to lower the level of the river to find her, it made more sense because she was right there at the edge of the water, just in a little bit, which means that she was weighted down with, I don't know if it was a center block and rope, but that's what I saw. And then I saw all the brush and twigs and bushes. I saw that 2 nights ago. And then they find her today in the water, weighted down with something. He refused to answer what it was. My visions have always been spot on. If you go to my videos right now and look at my most popular video, it's my Kylie Rodney video, because I saw her in the back of her car a whole week before she was found in the back of her car. I also saw Gabby Petito being carried from the van to where she was laying beside the trees, and I saw Brian carrying her. My visions have been pretty spot on. There's more, but I'm not going to go through each one of them with you right now. But yeah, it's scary. It's scary to see it, and then to find out that it's validated. That this 11-year-old baby girl had to go through that, and she was alone. She was with somebody she thought she could trust, and I think that's what pisses me off the most, because this wasn't a fucking stranger. This was somebody that was supposed to be protecting her. Why, I don't know, but he was supposed to be protecting her, and she looked at him as protection. She felt safe when she was with him, to a point, because she knew that he was also an addict. She knew that. She wasn't dumb. So she did have some fear, but she knew that nobody was going to hurt her when she was with him. She never expected it to be like this. She was very confused on why it happened like this. All right, that's it. I'm done. Thank you so much for watching. And until next time, I love you bunches.